Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. This is the first video I'm doing on my new computer. In today's video, we're going to be going over a no BS startup procedure for the any builds Airbus A320 and A321. This also can apply to the Airbus A330 as well, also by NA builds. These are the three default aircraft that come with the game. I'm playing just the standard edition as of right now. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. First thing you want to do is you want to walk around the aircraft. Make sure that everything is all checked. You can see there are some visual things right here that show you that the aircraft has part of the aircraft has been checked. All the covers are removed, everything is all checked in, and make sure that when you are walking around the aircraft, that when you get up closer, especially like towards the wing area where the flaps are and everything, you want to make sure that you actually like look around, because sometimes the hitbox for the actual piece that you need to inspect may be a little wonky. Like you can see right here, I'm looking right here, but it's triggering this piece, the flap. Same with walking around over here. And then once you get all your exterior inspections complete, then you can hop in the aircraft. Now hopping in the aircraft here, we can see that there is nothing on. There's no lights, none of the displays are lit up, nothing. So, with that being said, we gotta go over here. This is our electrical panel. We gotta make sure we have about 28 volts. We have 28.4. So the first thing you want to do is click both batteries. Everything kind of begins to light up a little bit. And then you're gonna come over here to the external power. It says avail. Click it. Everything else wakes up. Now while everything wakes up, what I like to do is come over here to the ADIRs, put them onto nav. That begins the alignment procedure. So then what happens is down here, after the self-test is complete, everything will start to align and come to life. So while that's happening, what I'll do is I'll come back up here. I will set the emergency lights, smoking sign, seatbelt sign. I'll set the nav lights on. It kind of tells you that the aircraft is awake. Then what I'll do, right here is your EPU master switch. Click it. Wait 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Here's your EPU start, and that'll start up. Now down here in this screen, right here, this is where your EPU is. Everything will start to wake up, and then once this hits up to 100, then it'll be ready to go. So you see the flap opens up for the ventilation, and as this comes to life, you can see the EGT is starting to warm up a little bit. There goes your percentage for your EPU. Make sure you disable the packs. I always click them to make sure that they do function the way they're supposed to. APU generator, it shows a fault right now, but once the APU is alive, that'll all change. Got a master caution here. That's just because everything is being aligned right now. Turn that off. You can see there's nothing here. Once the alignment is done with the ADIRs, then it'll be good to go. So while everything begins to warm up and start up, what I do is I'll come over to our tablet over here. I put in a flight, so we're coming from Detroit Metro Airport going to Gulfport, Biloxi, and it gives you the weather. So this is the weather at the area that you're at. So you can see this is your wind, what the clouds are doing, if there's overcast, and then here is what you want, the altimeter, 2986. This is what you do. So come over, make sure it's on the correct setting, 2986. You want to align that 3 times. 1, 2, and then down here. Which 2986 equates to 1011, which we are at. Now you can see right here the APU thing has gone. That's because APU is now ready. Now if you look up here, you can see the avail light right there. Next thing you want to do is you want to do the APU bleed, and then you can disconnect your external power. Coming back over to the tablet, we now have to prepare the aircraft and tell the aircraft what's going on. So I usually click the ground control, turn my cabin lights on, so if you are running in a vet sim or anything like that, your passengers can see where they're going without bonking their heads on the overheads. Let's go ahead and let's get everything set up. Luggage, catering. Let's get the jetway prepared. So the jetway will come down and open up. Everything opens up. And while that happens, let's configure your payload. Now for the simplicity of this video, I'm just going to be using what the default is. So we can see here, no passengers, no cargo. Fuel is 26,443 kilos. That's the max. Let's put this right there. 12,321. You click apply load. Now you can choose if you want it realistic, or you can do instant and fast. For the simplicity of this video, we're just going to do instant. And there you go. So now we must calculate our takeoff speeds. This is the panel right here. First thing you want to do when you do the configuration is you want to look at back at your payload. You want to look at your live gross weight. So we're working with 62,213 kilos. So you want to type that in, 62,213 kilos. You could choose what flap configuration you want for takeoff. We'll just leave it at 1. Air conditioning is on. We don't need the anti-ice. Now the next thing you want to do is you want to select the runway you will be departing on. So opening up your EFB here, go over to your route. You can see it wants 22 left. So that's what we will be using. So you click the sync button and it pulls up everything you need. So it syncs everything with the 22 left, and then it also pulls the heading, what the surface condition is, and then your weather. Now that you have that all punched in, just click calculate. And there is what you got. V1 is 124 knots, the rotation speed is 144, V2 is 146. Alright, one over here. This is the MCDU. This is where we will punch in all the information we just pulled, as well as entering our flight plan. So, first thing you want to do is click the performance button. So this is where we will punch in those V speeds, as I aforementioned. So we got 124. Here, 124. Click this button, that puts it in there. We got 144 and 146. 44. Punch it in. 146. Punch it in. The rest of this you don't really need to worry about. If you're just kind of free flying, the plane will fly on its own once you get the autopilot going. So this stuff you don't really need to worry about. So now we will go over to the initialization. If you're running a flight number, so we're in an Orbit Airlines skin, so I'll just put OR 200. So this, the cruise flight level, you don't really need to punch that in too much. We're just getting the aircraft basically ready to get up into the air. So using these buttons, it's kind of backwards. So going to the right, that kind of pulls everything up here. You click the button, it gives you your zero fuel weight and everything. Click this button, it gives you your block fuel. Moving over, that's what you need to do there. The next is the flight plan. And you can see it just shows what runway from the airport you're taking off to the arrival. Now, what you do is you will set your cruise flight level, and I'm just going to put flight level 300. And what you want to do next is you want to make sure you're on Jet Airways. Click Find Routes. So what this does is it completely gets you a full route from takeoff all the way to landing. Another thing you want to do, depending on the situation you are in, if you're like me and you don't like using the default air traffic control and you have all of that stuff turned off, you click send and click send to avionics. Now if you are doing anything you want to use the ATC or you're using VetSim or anything like that, you would click send to ATC and avionics, so it files your flight plan. So clicking send to avionics, we can now see that everything here is updated. Clicking the up key, that's actually how you move down to see kind of what your route's looking like here. A few clicks. For now, what we're going to do is we are going to set the departure and arrival at each airport. So starting here, we have KDTW 22 left. Click that, click departure. Now you want to make sure that you have the correct data punched in. So we have 22 left. We click that. SID, Berry 3 right there. The transition will be sinker. Insert. That'll punch it into the flight plan. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of scroll through. We don't want to make sure, we want to make sure that we don't see a flight discontinuity. Nothing yet. And look at that, there's no discontinuity. So next, KGPT, runway 14, and click arrival. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that it's correct. You want to cross-reference it not only on here, but also here. Same for the departure as well. We have ILS runway 14 Yankee via a direct approach. So this will be here. Click that bad boy. So we have no stars, no transitions, none, insert. So now, let's go through, check one more time. Look at that. Now everything is ready. Closing up your EFB. Now your route is successfully put into the flight computer. So now the plane knows where it's got to go, what it's got to do. Now with that being done, now what we got to do is we turn on our flight directors. Both sides. So now the aircraft is pretty much ready to go. Now if we look down at our primary flight display here, you can see that we have some speeds indicated here. So the blue speed, that is your V1. That is your V2. And then coming over here, this is your panel that controls the autopilot. You can see that right now everything is on a managed selecting except for the altitudes. Typically what I like to do is before I leave the gate, I will check and see kind of what our managed altitude is supposed to be. So we can see we're supposed to climb and maintain at a managed altitude of 7,000 feet at this waypoint. So what I'm going to do is we're going to set it to 7,000 feet. So there you go. You're ready to go. Now that we have done all of our checks, everything is loaded, fuel, payload, everything is loaded. We're going to go back to ground. We are going to toggle jetway, because if we look outside, we had the catering trucks and the luggage trucks. They already did their thing, and the plane will automatically open and close those doors accordingly. So now we just gotta wait for the jetway to clear and do its thing. During that time, what I'll do is I'll come back up to our overhead panel, and I will flick on the rest of the lights. We got the beacon, everything else. We're gonna go to taxi lights. You just make sure everything is ready to go. Everything is. Now there are some more things you would do if you were talking to ATC. You would come through here and you would program all of your frequencies ahead of time, and you would make sure that everything is checked and good to go. Now the jetway is cleared. I don't know why this does this. Jetway is cleared. We are now good for pushback. Over here, you want to put down your aft. Now, in order for you to begin your pushback, you must disengage your parking brake. Now, if you don't have a keybind for it, let's park us out of the way. Park brake is right here. Now it's off. So here, any moment, we will begin our pushback. Sometimes with the basic flight simulator stuff, if you don't have the add-ons for it, it may glitch out. But now that we're doing our pit pushback, this is where I will go through and I will activate all of our fuel pumps. Just like that. So now that's ready. Come down here to ignition start. And while pushback happens, we just want to make sure everything is good on our end. So 34. Oil quantity is in the green. Obviously we have no PSI right now just because we're not commencing engine start at the moment. So once the pushback is done, we will set our parking brake and commence engine start. Alright. So pushback is complete, set parking brake. And now we will begin the engine start sequence. We will start engine 2 and then number 1. So now you will see, here's your N1 beginning to rise. EG2 will begin to rise, and 2 is already coming up. And then now we're starting to build pressure here. Now the starting sequence does take a minute. During that time, I will go ahead and I will set our flap configuration. We will do flaps 1, just like that. And then what I will do is I will arm our speed brakes in case of rejected takeoff. Make sure your cockpit door is locked. What you're seeing here is everything that is going on with the aircraft at the moment. We have the ignition start, the APU bleed is on, everything else is on. Like the TCAS is on standby, the park brake is set, so if I disable the park brake, that'll go away. You can see our spoilers are armed and the seatbelt and no smoking sign are also armed. Alright, engine 2, you see a veil right there. That means that it is ready, we are good. Now we will come down and we will start engine 1. During this time, usually what I will do is I will do one last weather check. You can do it through the tablet over here, or you can pull up the VFB. Just click the little I button, click weather. You can see here 1011 HPA, altimeter still 2986. This was the last time that it was pulled, which was the current time. So we're all set there. Altimeters are set, everything is ready, just waiting for engine 1 to come to life. Look at that, we are now at engine 1 avail. Now your aircraft is ready for taxi and take off. This time, you would call ground, request your taxi clearance. They will taxi you, vector you to the runway, then contact tower, and you will be off to the skies. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is a procedure on how to start the Guinea builds A320 and A321. Again, this can also be used on the A330 as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is gonna become a thing. I will be doing more tutorials on how to just start the aircraft with a no BS way to start the aircraft. Obviously, there are more realistic ways, if you want to go 100% by the book as a real airline pilot would. This is just for the beginner simmers that just want to get used to the aircraft, get started, and not have to worry about any real-life procedures. They just want to get the aircraft started, warmed up, and ready to go. Make sure to leave a like on the video, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Now that I have this computer and also my PlayStation, I will be able to post a little bit more frequently with some of the games that I enjoy to play. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Take care.